It is Friday night, bank holiday Friday, sunny yesterday in Liverpool, dismal today. You cannot have it all. As it transpires, Liverpool have got Champions League qualification, but they've not got much chance of winning the title. You cannot have it all, as it says here. We are here with Erdinger, we're in Nova Scotia, made up to be here. I've got Kev Walsh, I've got Cam Ribbon, I've got Phil Blundell. And Phil, let's talk about the main fella. He's on the bottom of the glasses. It's 3 more games, and he was... if you say frisky today, I think you miss the idea that he turned up with something he wanted to say, and the thing I think he wanted to say more than anything, and I don't like how it's become a couple of the one-liners, because he had jokes as well. He didn't just sit there with a face on and rant, but then everyone just takes the jokes and pulls them out of context.
Like Amnesty International, for example. That was a joke, everyone.
It was a joke,
everyone.
He doesn't really think he needs to get Amnesty International involved. It's not the remit anyway.
No. I feel like they were wasting their time if they started getting involved in footballers.
Yeah, genuinely, it's not for them. No. So it is a joke, but the point is, his point that he's trying to make is the football in this country is unbelievably intense, and there's loads of load on the players, and everyone's asking well too much of the players, and he's only been saying it for 9 years. He'd quite like people to listen now.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a number of times, me and you, on various other shows, about when you're playing like the 16th best team, where they are in Europe, relative to everybody else. So the 16th best team in the Premier League, like Everton are 15th, and I know it's a fake 15th, but Everton are probably like better than the 10th best team in Germany by a fairly considerable distance, I would say, in terms of organisation.
How many of them have you had?
We all like a laptop week off.
Hey, start this again. Just in case they're watching, you've got to give them something, haven't you?
Well, they're beaters recently, whether we like it or not.
Exactly. And
I've expunged that from the record books, I'm afraid.
But that tells you how difficult this league is. And like, I've thought this for a number of years, when people, it sort of happened, I remember thinking 10, 15 years ago, where everyone would be like, oh, you know, the English teams, you know, the 4 best teams in Europe will get to the Champions League final every year. And they didn't, because they have to play each other on a weekly basis. And, you know, you look at some of the, if you ever remember, like, Pete Guardiola, Barcelona teams, they used to be on Saturday night Sky Sports every week playing against Elche or someone, and it wouldn't be a game of football. It'd be a parade where they pass the ball around at half pace, win 5-0, and it's easy. Okay, teams win 5-0 in the Premier League, but you have to work for it. You don't just walk onto the pitch and win 5-0, which happens in other countries.
I think it's I'll come back to you one more time on it, Phil, because I think it is the intensity point. I think it's this idea that every game is at least half an hour of a fight. What was one of the reasons why I think everyone was so shocked in this country by Sheffield United versus Arsenal earlier this season, when Sheffield United were doing an impression of a team that just weren't interested, and Arsenal were just able to walk around them in a way that you so rarely see. And I include that, as I say, there's Liverpool games where I've watched us have to graft, and then we might go on and win 4 and 5. There's, you know, you can have difficult periods in games, but it is, I think that's the bit that's missed. It's all so physically intensive, it's all so fast, and in the end that takes its toll. City are not going to be in a Champions League final. Arsenal aren't going to be. City have only ever been in 2. Am I right in saying, under Guardiola? They've only ever been in 2, whilst we've been watching them thinking, Christ, whether we like, however they've got there, these are really good at football. They've only ever been in 2 in there as well. You know, you go on, it now looks like Villa aren't going to make it. West Ham haven't made it. You give it a decent fist. Brighton, us. Listen, I just think we were a bit shit against Atalanta, but you take me general points.
We have a 38-game season and 2 cup competitions. In Germany, they have a 34-game season and 1 cup competition, and there's no 2 legs. Like, it's all that. So if
and the standards, as you say.
So if Dortmund or Bayern Munich have a season where they go a long way, playing about 50 games.
Elise and Eze will be playing for top 4 teams in Germany. They're playing for the 14th, 15th, 16th best team here.
There was like a part today, I think it was like, word to the effect of, you're not making the footballers good, you're making the Premier League. Like, the product's good, the brand's good. So, like, they've been so wrapped up in all of this stuff of, oh my God, yeah, let's make the Premier League the best in the world. But when it comes to the last stages of the, I mean, obviously, the last few years, us and City, we've done well. But there is times like now where you literally get to the semi-finals where each team just looks exhausted.
Go on.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, do you reckon, I can see the point in the valid ones, but would you swap the 38 Premier League game season and the 2 cup competitions for that German style model? Because I don't think I would.
No, I don't think I would.
So you've got to have a listen and loads to side of the Premier League, especially against Jurgen Klopp. But you sort of got to take your medicine a little bit, and it makes winning the European Cup that bit more special when you actually get there, doesn't it?
So then, what I think is you've got to work out what it is that you want, and I'm fine with that. But at the minute, everyone just wants. All the people who are in charge of football want everything. They want everything their way. No one ever compromises. And then so you end up in a situation where there's no alternative vision put forward. Everyone complains about everything. So you've got a set of supporters who will complain about kick-off times till the cows come home on the one hand, but we'll all complain about ticket prices as well. But the TV money could subsidise the ticket prices, so we don't do that. So that's our bit in there as well. Then you've got the idea that you've got Crystal Palace will say, why should we give more money down to the rest of the pyramid because we're a Premier League team? But they won't say, but we should give more money to Liverpool and Manchester United because they drive the revenue as to why we get more money. They'd argue with that as well. Liverpool and Man United won't go, do you know what, lads, we could be a bit sounder in this area. We could give you that back a little bit more. What they'll do instead is, no, we keep all this. And in the end, I just think it comes down to who suffers, and there's no alternative vision. And until someone sort of looks at it a bit holistically, which weirdly the Liverpool manager whose job it isn't, it feels like he's the closest person to do it at any point. You're not going to get any change.
People think he's also not being.
Yeah, whilst also people think he's arguing out of self-interest.
Yeah.
And he's not. He's basically saying it's all the other players.
Like TNT mocked up a little thing about him, and his basic point was that, do you not want a better product? The idea that TNT think Liverpool are at their best on a 12:30 after they've played Sunday, Wednesday and Saturday is a good idea for them to show a game of football. It isn't.
But also they own European football in this country as well.
Exactly.
Surely do they not want an English semi-finalist and an English finalist?
Why they aren't lobbying for their game to be on a Friday night, I don't really understand. Because you put them on a Friday night, they can have it before a European game every time there's European games. And have one of the European teams on a Friday night. Like, is that not better for them?
Yeah, well, it's like when you're saying about other teams with different arguments, like Rooney after the derby saying, get on with it. And then someone found a tweet from 2011 where he said he hates early kickoffs. Like everyone's...
Oh, the funny one, he can't even pass it at 9 o'clock.
yeah.
I can.
But yeah, it's just... I mean, that was coming with Klopp. I always thought, like, when he announced that he was going, I always thought he's going to come out and start saying stuff, but it's probably been when there's nothing left to play for, because we were still going for it, everyone's been saying Klopp's cracking up, blah, 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 for in a title race, but now I'm much more looking forward to his last few interviews, to be honest.
I think he could be capable of anything.
If the club want to improve the revenue streams, last these press conferences on pay-per-view, because tell you what, I'll pay for them, mate, if he's giving me this content. That one before Walsh is
going to be WrestleMania, isn't it?
I think that one might be a bit emotional, because he actually likes a lot of the people he's in the room with, and he's got a relationship with them. I think next week's could be the fiery one before Villa on Monday night. I think that could be the one where he decides he's going to really go for people.
I might try and get into it, to be honest.
Any spares for this?
Any spares?
We'll swap for Wolves at home.
I think it's going to keep coming back, this, because not least having the players are going to start saying, the players have started saying in numbers, we're absolutely knackered, and not just the ones who play in England, but in general, because this summer there's a Euros, an Olympics and a Copa America, then they're all going to come back and start playing again in August. They've all the best ones have got 2 more Champions League games that we'll look forward to watching. Someone might have 4 more Champions League games to whack in on top of everything else. All of them are injured. Manchester United can barely field a squad. They might have to pick Fred the Red at this point for the weekend's games, and he might prove to be better than Lindelof. There is with it, Kev. I just think that the worry is that the players themselves just begin to go, fucking hell, I am absolutely goosed.
I think they already are doing that, but then the option, you've got to, there's the problem, is you've got to think of some sort of alternative vision, and I just don't see less games being the alternative vision. I know that in the perfect world, like Jurgen Klopp would definitely argue for less games. That isn't going to happen, because there's too many people making too much money from the games. So is the alternative vision then, the squad goes from being a 20-man squad to a 25-man squad or a 30-man squad, and then players saying, well, but I want to play. But so you'd have to say, well, listen, we've got 55 games this season, and even maybe they somehow have more games for the teams who are not getting that far in the cups, and then players have got to start going, well, okay, well, I've got to take my medicine, I can't play every week, and then complain at the end of the season about being injured, about being ill or whatever. My worry with that would be, if it does go that way, which I don't know, would be that then all you're going to get is a situation where the top 6-7 teams in the league just hoard all the best players, and the rest of them go even worse. And because the top 6 or 7 will have Champions League money for the top 3 or 4, and then the rest of them, it sort of changes around a little bit, doesn't it? But they always get in there, and they're always there and thereabouts. So you've got to be careful what you wish for a little bit.
But then the situation with that is that you're describing there that it'd be different in England, but England have then got to adhere to the UEFA's rules. And the German sides who play 34 games, as Phil described, are going, we're happy with the squad sizes the way they are, lads, you can't register any more players. And then suddenly that's where...
So yeah, but surely that's only for UEFA competition.
It is, so then you end up maybe with a Premier League squad and a European squad.
Yep, which is not beyond the realms of fancy, is it? But then again, if you're a club saying to the players, stop moaning about being tired then. You told me you want to be in the Champions League squad, you told me you want to be in the Premier League squad, stop moaning about what you're doing. Because, listen, I hate going back to money on it, but to get paid 350 grand a week, there's got to be a compromise to earn that much money. So, if you want to play every game, but then there's too many games. Well, guess what? If you play less games, you're going to get less money.
The only solution I can see that fixes it is some kind of minute cap on how many minutes they're allowed to play. That's the only possible thing I can think, because
that would surely go hand in hand with a reduction in wages, though, surely.
Yeah. I think it'd become a conversation.
Yeah.
To a point.
And also, it would also come in with a reduction in bonuses.
Yeah.
I.e., if
yeah.
So that would be in there as well. You're not getting your goal bonuses and so on because you're not scoring enough
But
goals.
then would they get more bonuses by being fresher and being better at football?
Yeah.
Like,
But then if you bring in like a minute cap, a TV company's going to be happy if Mo Salah's going to be playing a certain amount of...
absolutely.
So it's all...
and this is the exact problem, isn't it?
And that's just...
Whatever solution you come up with to fix up.
I'd love to hear Jurgen's solution, you know.
But it'll become past the game. I think that I'd like to hear Jurgen's solution as well. Maybe we'll get to at some point. I think there's something in there. I've got mine, by the way, but I'm not going to tell you on air. I'm writing it in a booklet at the minute.
That's right.
And you can read it afterwards, or I might tell you in the gap here. It
Clickbaiting
won't take very long.
That's right, that's right.
Won't take very long. We'll do the break. I'll explain it to Kev. Then he's going to come back with a big smile on his face.
And Erdinger, please.
Stop! Don't forget the best bit.
It is Friday night in Nova Scotia. Liverpool playing Tottenham Hotspur this weekend on a Sunday. Kev Walsh for the Blundell and cameraman is still with me. I'm really looking forward to it. It's hard to put it into words, really. This is sort of unique under Klopp. I think every single season, apart from the COVID one, we've always had something still to play for at this point with 3 games to go, and we just sort of haven't. And why I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope they are as well. I mean, please let them to be looking forward to it. If they get to just play a game of football here against the side, that's quite open.
Which season do you mean by COVID season?
1920, when they won the league.
We were still going for 100 points though. That was a
Yeah,
thing. That was a thing, wasn't it? In everyone's mind, it was like
that Burnley
100 points.
0-0
There's the Burnley 0-0. There's the Arsenal away defeat. We were still going for things like this. I think this is genuinely the first season of them where there's been nothing happening in May.
I was just happy with winning the league, but go on.
Yeah, I agree as well. But at the same time, you were like, right, we could do all kinds here. Yeah. We could get more points than anyone's ever got and ever will ever again. So that was the thing. But this is the first time when there's been nothing happening. Because even like this first season where I think we played West Brom last day, and we were basically finishing 8th no matter what happened.
But we still had the Europa League.
There was the Europa League final.
Yeah.
The last 2 seasons we needed to win on the final day to come 4th, I think. Season after was, could have won the league last day. Year after the league was done, year after 4th, year after can win the league, year after still go.
And there's other Champions League finals in there as well because the manager's brilliant.
Exactly. So this is just an alien concept where we can sort of put our feet up and have a bit of a laugh and just enjoy watching football for a literal entertainment purpose. Maybe it'd be fun.
Imagine watching football for literal entertainment purposes.
I mean,
how often that happened to you?
Never. No, but
the Charity Shield when we beat City 3-1, the last one I can think of.
No, it will be. It's like, as we were saying before, it's like a really unique game in a way, isn't it? It's like, because everyone for weeks and weeks been saying, Spurs that bank holiday game. And look, it's not happening, the league isn't happening now, but as you said, just go there and just relax now. There's a flag day as well, what Spine Cop have organised.
Which will be brilliant.
Which will be brilliant as well, to commemorate the 30 years since the last big flag day. So it'll be a good
atmosphere. The
first one, since the last one, yeah. And
close.
But just go in and just enjoy it. Just enjoy it, because it's literally the second to last time you see Klopp in the dugout now.
That's the bonus of it, the fact that listen, we'd all rather be going for the league clearly, but there is a sense of, there's a little bonus, the fact that we can sing a song, and if you start to moan about it, we can say, shut up, you're going anyway, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And we've got nothing else to play for, so we can sing a song whenever
we burn that bridge with him?
Honestly, basically,
he's got no
leave him with a big one of them, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, let him know what we're about.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't always go way too long.
He's told us off enough times, hasn't he, turned around and given it loads. But it'd be nice to be able to give him the appreciation that, listen, we're all desperate to give him, because what he's given us over the last 9 years is absolutely unbelievable. And because he's so focused on the team, and he's humble, and like, listen, people who are not Liverpool fans may not see that really. They might think he does make it about him, but I don't think he does.
Oh, he doesn't want it to be about him at all.
Well, and his song getting sung, and I know you've had discussions regarding it, and it's the only time, like, we wanted to sing that for him, but also about winning the league, but he sort of kiboshed it, and we were only allowed to sing for the last 2 or 3 minutes of a game. Well, on Sunday we can sing it whenever we want, and we can sing it as long as we want. and he can have no complaints about it. And I think by then he'll appreciate that we're singing it from very much a heartfelt place, and we want to say
and
goodbye.
that he and loads of they won the league.
Yeah,
like Virgil van Dijk won the league. He might not be fit for this one, might not be available. Alisson Becker won the league, Andy Robertson won the league, Mo Salah won the league. They won the league, and that was brilliant. And we want them to win another one pretty soon. Next season would be great. But I think that stuff matters, and it's an opportunity. But also, Kev, I just think this is a team you can play well against. They're open. They're not great from set pieces. They're in a bit of a wobble themselves. It's not as straightforward for them as they'd like it to be at the minute. They'll be feeling a bit demoralised. I just think if we can all go into this with the right attitude on Sunday, and I think we will, by the way, I'm beginning to think everyone's going to be buzzing for this on Sunday, bank holiday weekend, all the hits. I think if they're buzzing going into it, I think we can all have a lovely afternoon.
Yeah, 100%. As you say, it'd be nice to be in the ground and not have that gut-wrenching fear of what might happen. It might not even be happening in front of you, but you're watching Liverpool play Luton or Sheffield United, and your stomach's in absolutely knots. It's not enjoyable. It is at the end. We're going through it. It's disgusting. It's a horrible. Why you pay for it, I don't know, but we do every time. So it'd be nice to go in with as you say, hopefully a bit of a half a nice day. It's meant to rain, I think, but hopefully it'll just stay off for us.
Rain?
Apparently, only a little bit.
It's not convenient.
Really
the Tiss needs to get onto the lads.
No one mentioned either. We proper Odie's one as well from September.
Fucking right, we do.
Really?
The PGMOL, we all know.
Yeah. We owed them all it, but yeah, because these, when we last played them.
When did we play the PGMOL away? Go on.
Every game.
It's got it on the calendar, let me tell you.
Well, yeah, I think when you look at them from the start, not much is really being made out that they were literally going around clapping the whole ground when they were top after
the kids on the pitch after they beat 9 men. Mad.
So yeah, we just need to.
Unfortunately,
we just need to.
By the way.
Yeah, just need to shut them up on Sunday.
Shut them up.
Yeah. Really shut them up.
Who are you shutting them up with? Who are you playing up front?
Well, that's what I was saying to you before. He might just do something mad. Now, I'm not saying he's going to put 3 of the kids on, but he might just be thinking now, do you know what? Why not just try something a little bit different, wherever that might be, don't know what the injury is going to be like. But who's
It'd be funny if it's not Salah, won't we? Imagine if he's like that to Salah.
I put the team sheets in there, lads.
Like that. Mo! Go and tell him to get up there for us.
As much as a starting 11, probably, but I don't know, after last week, who knows?
I don't really mind as long as I get to see Ange looking at his shoes going, yeah, man. So his interviews are great, the way there's no eye contact, there's not even his eyes are literally he's looking at the floor like something's on the floor, like he's distracted. Dead funny.
Who do you think he is going to pick though?
I don't know. I think he'll play Salah, I think he'll play Diaz, I think he might play Gakpo, to be honest.
From the start?
From the start, yeah.
That's what I think as well. I think there's a couple
I'd start Gravenberch in midfield, I think.
I think there's a couple
was great last week.
Yeah, well there's a couple of I think have been nursing knocks a little bit, Kev, as well. I think that it's interesting to me, Virgil suddenly he's doing a bit of training but not much. Suggests he might have had a couple of weeks there where he's not been quite right.
Yeah.
There might be a couple of others where now at this point, if they've got international commitments in the summer, there might be an argument just to say, listen, we want you on the pitch for Wolves, but we can do other stuff between now and then.
Yeah, don't listen for the players welfare yet, but I listened to Gibbo on one of the shows before, and he was talking on the pre-match World was, and he was talking about maybe Klopp just goes with the ones he loves. Do you know what I mean? He can't be bothered with not that he can't be bothered with the ones who are not as top boys, but he doesn't really necessarily need to sort of.
He doesn't have to manage anyone's minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he doesn't. But he doesn't have to manage
anyone.
That's it. He doesn't have to manage anyone's ego either. So Harvey Elliott, I would imagine, is high up on his list of players he absolutely loves. So it wouldn't surprise me to see him get 3 starts to finish the end of his reign and saying to Harvey, listen, go into next year with this new manager and make yourself the #1 player on that pitch. Curtis Jones, I think he loves him, so I think maybe the same there. And it wouldn't surprise me if less than minutes and injuries, it becomes a bit more about, I fucking love you, lad, go on there and show me why. So it wouldn't surprise me if there was a few little maybe changes like that. And to be honest, I'm bang up for it because we're not exactly playing brilliantly anyway, are we? We're sort of muddling through. And I wouldn't mind a little bit of it, as you said, a game where it's on vibes, isn't it? And just enjoying ourselves.
I'd love a 5-3.
Yeah.
As long as it's to us, I'd love a 5-3.
I think you might do a few of the kids who going through that patch in the League Cup final, not necessarily start, but they might see minutes.
That's a good, I wouldn't show. The only problem with that is you have to leave. We've now got footballers and you have to leave footballers off the bench for them. That's the only problem with that. I don't necessarily disagree, but it's
goes back to that thing of saying if you've got niggles and that, you might say, look.
Yeah. I think it might be almost 3 different ones where this one might be a bit of a, right, I want to see a few. Wolves, I think, will be these were, we had this journey together.
Yeah.
Loved them all so much. Yeah. And Villa might be a little bit of a, let's go to Villa and piss them off.
Well, also, you've got to go to the team. You can't go to Villa with anything except 100% in you, can you? Because regardless, I know you've got the European commitments and that, but you can't go there and get turned over, because it's happened to us before. But he doesn't want his last away game to be like, oh, I've tried this and it really hasn't gone well.
Yes.
He wants to finish off on a high.
But you win Sunday and you make Villa the dead rubber, basically.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but even that though, I just don't feel like he wants to go there.
It's just a general comment about how
state of play
for us, Spurs and Villa.
Do you think we're going to win?
Yeah, I think it might be a mad one. Like I think it could genuinely be 4-3.
I wouldn't be surprised if we absolutely blattered them, but I say that every time.
I'll say 4-1.
I'm closest to Cam. See you later. Erdinger, Nova Scotia, been a pleasure.